Have you ever wanted to know what it takes to open up a cafe from scratch? Well, I was able to have a chat with the original owner of Bostons Espresso that very question.
Hi, my name's Kylie and I was the owner of Bostons Espresso. The reason I chose to open up a cafe over any other business was, I guess that was the only business that I actually felt interested in owning. The reason we started the cafe from scratch, we did contemplate taking over another cafe. So we looked at other cafes that were for sale in the area that we wanted to start. And I guess that it never really excited me as much as starting my own. Most fun thing about starting the cafe was building it from scratch. So just seeing it from an empty shoebox, created into this cute little cafe. Opening a cafe, I thought, it'll be awesome, just work in a cafe. My friends could hang out there all the time, and didn't think about all the work that needed to go in. At the same time, it was more rewarding than what I expected as well. So going into opening Boston's, I hadn't owned a business before, more so in the finance industry and health insurance industry. So initially, what was involved in starting the cafe, it was number one, the idea, then actually going, can we do this? So our finances, what would we need to start a cafe? How much would we need to? Because you don't really get that from anywhere. No one really tells you how much you'll need. So it was doing a bit of research and, a few people that we knew owned cafes. So asking them questions without asking them too much personal information. My husband and I did just like a lot of cafe hopping, just all over Sydney, all over Queensland, and especially Wollongong, just seeing what everyone else was doing, and kind of taking all the good bits and say, what do we want? What sort of vision do we want for our cafe? And what is our main focus? So once we kind of had that in place, then everything else flowed. So from that, it was a strong focus on the atmosphere of the cafe. So then it was, okay, the fit out. And that's something that I'd already pre-designed in my head, and I knew I wanted, a lounge area where people could come in and relax and just a really nice atmosphere. So the fit out was pretty easy because Grant knew how to build it and I knew what I wanted. So that was pretty good. In terms of menus and like food and coffee, we did a bit of a journey to find the coffee that we wanted. So we visited throughout those cafes. We would choose, where we loved the coffee and then find out what sort of coffee that particular cafe was using. And in our case, we found that a lot of cafes that we liked in Sydney were using Bellaroma or a brand of Bellaroma. So that was one of our main things. We also decided that we wanted to have an organic coffee because we had an organic shop up the road, which was quite popular. We had a lot of gyms around the place and organic was the new thing to do. So we thought, okay, if that's the new thing, everyone's going to want it. So we then researched some other coffee roasters that did an organic blend. And then it came down to two people. And then, so Bellaroma was still one of them. And we just found like a better relationship with the guys at Bellaroma and decided to go with them. So, and that worked out well. Food was very much like out of our depth. I haven't done food before. My brother was a chef though. So when we decided what sort of menu we wanted, a small menu, it was very much, okay, let's try this, let's try making this, because neither Grant or I have experience in food. That was just kind of, it just happened and it just worked out well. Because we just did not have any experience. So even like costing food and, how much would you charge for this? And but you learn that along the way. There was definitely things that we wanted to do. Again, from the start, we wanted to do all this organic stuff, and then we realized that number one, it costs a lot of money, and number two, the majority of people didn't really care. So that's when we started phasing out a few different things. It was all fun leading up to opening and exciting and all new. And then I won't lie, I cried every night for the first 2 weeks. So it was, wow, this is actually reality. Like, you do one day of trade, your first day, it's exciting. It's way over, what you could have imagined. And you're like, wow, now I've got to do this all again tomorrow and the next day and the next day. And then, the tiredness kicks in, the responsibility kicks in. And then you're like, and that's your wage as well. So, when it's not doing so well or you're not busy, then you think, wow, that, you start to stress, like the stress comes in terms of finances and things like that. So then it was, that was the biggest struggle. Once we got into a good rhythm of it, finishing, we closed the shop at 4 o'clock. We'd probably get out at 8 o'clock at the start. Then that kept, reducing because, all the staff are eventually trained up. You put better processes in place, and then, you live a pretty decent sort of, life. there was light at the end of the tunnel. So that would have been the biggest, just a shock to our system, because there was so much hype and so much excitement, and then the reality kicked in, and then, that was a bit of a struggle. In saying that lasts about, a month, and then you think, oh no, I'm actually really starting to enjoy this, and then you love it. You end up loving it. Every night I was downstairs. We were actually living on top of the cafe in a unit at the time. So every night I was down there doing stuff. I was either down there or I was upstairs doing stuff on the computer. Actually, if you take into account all like doing the pays and all the bookwork as well, it would have been 90 hours a week. It was insane to begin with. So the only form of advertising we did from the beginning was social media. So Facebook and Instagram, they were the only, the things that we used. And through that, and people sharing, we had a, pretty good network of people that we know. So, people constantly sharing our posts. We'd get so many people come in and go, oh yeah, I saw you guys pop up on Facebook or Instagram. And that was the only form of advertising we did. There was one time that we did a short stint on our ad in a newspaper because I had a special deal going, but we found that I don't think that did anything in terms of bringing people in. Definitely social media I found was our best form of advertising. It's obviously free. And that's something that Grant was really passionate about. So he took that on board. He's, took all the photos. He was really good at it. And he also followed a lot of other cafes that were doing it really well and seeing, researching on how to be effective on social media as well. So what's the best time to put a post on? What's the most effective time? Looking at, in terms of if you're looking at your overview of your page, like on Instagram, what sort of photos you should have on there. So you're not putting too many of the same thing or, always using the same sort of lighting. We found that any time that there was an actual human being in our post, we'd get double the amount of likes, a lot more engagement. People want to engage with people. So then we found that, okay, let's make it really personable. So you go back through the Bostons Espresso Instagram page and even our comments was just very much about our staff and about our customers and just us having fun. And I think that's what people really enjoyed about the place. Like they could see it through our social media. And when they came in, it was the same. It wasn't, social media was this thing that someone had put together and it looked all perfect. And then they came in, it was different. It was very real. You're not going to be a millionaire from opening a cafe. That's for sure. You've got to do it because you're passionate about it. It's not just about selling coffee. You have to have something else. There's a lot of places that sell good coffee now. Australia's got a great coffee culture, and I can go into Wollongong and go to a minimum of 10 really good coffee shops and get good coffee. You need to know what your difference is. For us, it was building relationships with our customers and creating an atmosphere where people could come and just really feel at home. And I think, you know, at Boston's we did that really well.
The constant thing that people say about Boston's when they come here is the vibe. And to be honest, everybody, when like people catch up, it's always over coffee, and they always want to go someplace that's inviting, that's warm, and feels like home. And just by talking to people, they love this place because, you know, it feels like home to them. It feels heaps homely, and because like we treat customers like they're our family or friends, and they love the fact about that, and that's why they keep on coming back. So it's not because of me and my good looks, but definitely because of that. So yeah.
Yes, we serve good coffee, yes, we serve good food, but we knew 90% of our customers, you know, by first name. We, you know, we'd talk to them, we'd know about what's happening in their lives, that, you know, we would be the people that they come and, you know, would cheer them up in the morning going to work, or we'd help them out. We became really good friends with a lot of our customers as well. And so much of the feedback was, oh, I just feel so comfortable being here, or, you know, just relax. I just feel like I'm not just a customer. So it's like working out what your niche is going to be, and just really focusing on that. Never lose focus. Never, like, it's hard to not just focus on the financial side of things. But just, yeah, remember what your purpose for opening it is. No, I don't think you need a Bachelor of Business to start a business. I've started uni since opening a cafe, and I find that I think you just, the experience you need is working with customers. There's a lot of people that are working in hospitality that should not be working in hospitality. So yeah, there's a lot of resources out there that will help you do that. And if you've got a good network of people around you, they'll help you do that as well. So you don't necessarily need a degree, but I think experience in managing staff, or just knowing, how you're going to do that, because your staff are very important. They run the place for you. And the customers can see if your staff are happy, you're happy, they want to be there as well. So I think in terms of experience, for me, it was very much being working out how you're going to interact with other people, because everything else you can learn along the way.